All right, so basically what I'm illustrating here there are two pivot points in the golf swing. Okay, if I were to bump my hips, my head can stay still, my chest can turn over one, my head can remain there, and then turn over the other. That right there is swinging from the insides of your feet right there. That's important. That's always happening. You never want to get out here. You never want to get out there. You also want to understand that your upper body is what places the pressure in your lower body, not your lower body placing the pressure into your lower body. Hey, remember we talked about that hand speed? Yeah. Pop it with the hands. I know I'm asking you to do a lot right now. Set up main priority, and then I want to see you really work hard at accelerating those hands as fast as possible, okay? Big body turn to the top, less arms, and then really accelerate from the top. That was pretty, huh? Every time you talk about getting a little pop to those hands, it makes a huge difference, doesn't it? That's not just for this guy, by the way. It's like every lesson I teach. Remind people of hand speed and getting the importance of getting those hands cracking through impact. I mean, it's just so easy to understand too, Tyler. You think about it, the body only has such a short distance to travel, about 6 inches to turn back, and then to get back to the finish line, which is the golf ball. And you think about how far the hands, especially with those long arms of yours, have to travel to get back to the finish line. If the hands aren't traveling fast enough, it's just not going to catch up to the body, right? Like I said, I think it's very important for you to have that theme of I'm using my setup to shape my backswing. What happens with the body is done through the setup. And I think it's extremely important to understand this feeling. You know, I heard this a lot when I was younger. I had a great mentor, Todd Sones, who used to show me this stuff. Go over there where Gabe is, buddy. And, you know, it's just, I wish I grabbed on to more of it at a young age, okay? Because this is just gold, absolute gold. All right, so basically what I'm illustrating here there are two pivot points in the golf swing, okay? If I were to bump my hips, my head can stay still, my chest can turn over one, my head can remain there, and then turn over the other. That right there is swinging from the insides of your feet right there. That's important. That's always happening. You never want to get out here. You never want to get out there. You also want to understand that your upper body is what places the pressure in your lower body, not your lower body placing the pressure into your lower body. Does that make sense? If I were to do lower body into lower body, it's swaying. If I were to put pressure into my lower body with my upper body, well, now I'm turning. So that right there loads that pressure on the inside, and then I can push my hips open, and look at, I'm staying very centered, not laterally moving, because lateral movement kills the consistency of the golf swing. So it allows for that pure rotation, and therefore it allows you not to have to manipulate anything. So it's our saying, pure rotation without manipulation. That's it right there. Hop in there and try that, okay?
And so we're just like, whatever.
Nice, dude.
Whatever we can do.
Does that make sense to you? Instep to instep, right? Left shoulder over the right foot. Not because you're having to sway to get there, but because your hip bump creates the spine angle that then allows you just to turn there. Does that make sense? I'll send it to you. We got the whole crew now, Kayla. See, that's why this guy gets so much better too. You hear the girls bantering out here. You know, they're worried about the bangs and the hat. This guy's like laser focused when he's out here practicing. It's so funny. Like, yeah, he's like one of the most fun dudes I know. But when you're out here, you'd think that this guy was just, there was nothing coming out. Oh, dude, how much more power are in those swings right there, huh?
Yeah, they're not as glancy.
Yeah, right.
the energy's going through the ball versus that little.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Really, really good. Yeah, so, dude, you got some really good stuff here so far, though, because this is really big. You have to make sure, set up. We have to have something very structured to make sure that every day we talk. It's the same. It's been the same lesson with that. We talk about components of the swing that are important over time that we've worked on, but same thing is always, hey, what are we going to do to guarantee that every day with wedges, the outsides of our feet are to the outsides of our shoulders, irons, middle of feet to the outsides of shoulders, insteps to the outsides for woods. Simple. We mark up an alignment rod. You get an alignment rod out. You just take the two, dots on the outsides of your shoulders, and now at least you have the basis of what you could use for outsides of feet, middle feet, insides of feet. And then you can put a midpoint on that also, and that midpoint can then be where you base ball position from. So you have from middle with wedges to instep of left with woods. And I think that would for you be huge, buddy. All those are going right where you're aiming, bud. The draw will come back the more you just feel the transition of your swing at the top. A little bit of patience, and that back remains to the target just for a split second longer, and you just feel the hands hit the gas from there. Watch what happens. Don't immediately turn in front of your hands. And then that'll get what Gabe talked about earlier, that little bit of glancy feeling where it just slides a little bit off the face. It'll take that 100% away if you can feel a little more patience and get the arms down in front of your body a little better, okay? Easy thought for that, just back to the target, get the arms moving. How'd that feel?
Better.
Yeah. It's all dead straight now, dude. There it was. I felt good, huh? Really good. Yeah, really good there. Anything, I mean, there was the same golf swing, but anything different about that swing in particular?
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's honest. You know what's funny about it though, dude? You literally get to the point to where come back here real quick, where you want to get to the point to where you literally just can think draw, and it just draws, right? Where you're in there and you're just go, okay, just a little soft one. And I don't know, that's coming about 2 yards, there he goes. And the whole point is, the swing of your swing, what we're trying to do with that golf swing is get it so on plane and so zeroed out without thinking too technically that when you want to just tip it a couple yards left or move it a little bit right, a lot of times it's just a minor setup adjustment and just the mindset at which you enter the shot with. Seriously, it's it's very easy on a range, very easy to get caught up in here and just hitting balls and not really thinking about a shot shape, and we're all guilty of it. But it's nice when you can actually hit a couple shots where you go, okay, you know what? I'm gonna hit like a 5-6 yard draw here, or just hit dead straight. But the whole point is, it does have a little bit more meaning when you do that, and especially if I'm hitting a golf shot. I know me personally on the driving range, if I'm hitting shots that tip right, and I am not there with my coach or working on my game, or with the coach to be able to say, hey, definitively this is maybe what's causing that. I know myself, I have no problem with sitting there on a range and just taking a couple shots where I go, just to get the feeling back, just athletically in my hands and my body to feel what does it take for me to hit that draw more. See, I just did a couple of those just like that. Now, what's funny about that is that's not me trying to manipulate my hands to do that. It's just me trying to feel my body and my hands work in unison to make that happen. Sometimes, I watch my players, they'll overdraw shots, right? And then I'll have them sit there for a while and just hit a couple of these. See, I just kind of across it a little bit, just to kind of hold a little bit more of a fade. Well, here's the big thing. After that, okay, let me take a normal swing and just feel a little more of what and there's a really nice shot right there with a little, 1 yard draw to it. And that was just me feeling a little bit more of the first one that I needed to feel in order to hit the shot I was looking for. So, that's not a complicated lesson. That's a very easy lesson. That's just more for an athlete to be able to do something simple to help your feel. If you're ever out there and you're just getting before a round and you're seeing a shot shape you just really don't like and you don't want to play, well, take a moment, grab a couple of the bad balls in the bucket, take some half swings, and just feel the little 60, 70 yard tiny draw for a moment, just to feel what your hands, body have to do together to make that happen. And then apply that into your swing a little bit, and you'd be surprised as a good athlete that really makes it happen. Now, big picture stuff though. If we have the right setup, right ball position, we have that connected backswing with everything up there together, and the arms and hands moving with the body in the downswing, your shot shape will happen naturally. So, it's just, but I think it's important for our golfers to be smart, and I only give that lesson not to stray from the initial plan, but hey, if you have a shot shape that you like, don't be shy and hitting some shots that are reminiscent of more of what you want to do. I mean, I've been there, guys. Like, I seriously, I feel like I'm doing everything right and I'm just hitting cuts, and I personally, I didn't want to hit cuts or something for some reason when I was younger, and I would sit there on the range and I would just go, okay, hold on. Just to feel the ball turn and just to feel what I needed to feel, because you know what it sparked? It sparks sometimes a feeling of, oh, that's the one thing I'm missing that I need to do. I just realized how much more I got back into my left heel through impact, and I just rotated so much more on that one than I did on any other one today. And look at that. By far the best one, right? So that's just an example of what a good golfer could do, and it's not a lesson that a lot of people give. It's just something that I watch good golfers do. I used to work with, I think of one, I was thinking about the feet earlier. Remember Bo Hostler? So when he was one of the top amateurs in the world at Texas, I remember his feet were a little open, stroke was a little cutty. You know what he did? Sat there and hit 100 putts like this. Just reshaping his feet and feeling more of a draw stroke, just to totally fix or reverse what was natural to him and start getting a little bit of a feeling of what he needed to do more. I thought that was really interesting. I wouldn't have mentioned that if he didn't go on to win that week, but he went on and putted great and won this tournament. So the whole point being, we do things that we feel that sometimes as a good athlete, they sink in and you kind of keep doing them. And my lesson to you there was, you're a good enough athlete that sometimes all I'm basically trying to say is hit some big draws if you lose your draw. And a lot of times you'll find the feeling that you just needed to apply into your regular swing. Okay. All right, buddy. Why don't you try that? Give me a couple like that, where we shape a couple shots and just hit a couple 5-yard benders, but really hit a big one here, like a big old draw. Drop the technique and just hit it. Okay, do it again. Because this is what I find. This happens to me all the time. I drop the technique and just hit it, and then all of a sudden, I realize, gosh, that goes really straight. See how straight it goes? Straight. I know, but the purest ones of the day, right? That one was so pure. So you just, now, hey, roast a hook here. Give me a big old start right hook. No technique, just all athleticism. How do you get that ball to start way out there and then hook?
I aimed obviously right, and then I kept my club face closed and kind of bowed my wrist out and turned through.
Don't let that ball start left and hit a hook. Make it start right and hit a hook. So the reason why you chunk those when you try to make that happen is you're trying to do it with your hands and flipping the club and then dropping it in the ground, rather than just, okay, I'm gonna aim the feet where I want this ball to start. I'm gonna swing in the direction of my feet, and I'm just gonna have those knuckles turning down. Right? Okay, that's a pitching wedge too. That's a lot of movement for a pitching wedge right there, right? So the cool thing is, okay, I wanna cut this back, open the feet up a little bit, open the hands a little, open the club face, out to in. And look at that thing try to carve its way back, hard to really cut a low iron big, but here, the big thing about it is, you know, don't sit here and try to flip it with your hands. Feel your body shape it. You see what I'm saying? Hop in there and try it again. So what's cool is, like, you know, this guy, I wouldn't normally start getting, you know, shaping too many shots, but like, he's so good and so far past his time that it's like, look at the feet. Close those feet. Get the right one way behind your left. Get that thing starting way out there right and try to draw that thing. That's tough, huh?
Really tough.
Really tough. Well, why don't you try to hit, like, rather than just a draw, like, try to hit, like, just, like, when I say drop the technique, I don't care what your backswing is like. Hit a hook. Just make the ball. Like, that thing's a ping pong paddle in your hand. It's hard to hit a hook with an open stance, though. His feet just don't want to. So what I mean is, every time you do this, and this is good, I'm glad, this is a tough lesson, because this is like, you're hitting it fine the normal way. I want you to learn how to shape shots, right? So let's get a club out that. You're doing the same thing every time, dude, not changing anything. So watch me here, come on back here. This is what you need to start doing with your feet. If you're gonna sit here and hit a hook for me, like, you gotta get like this, right? Like, just hook it. And then you just realize that needs to be your normal swing. But what are you gonna do to actually make this thing start right and hook it? You gotta close that club face a little bit. You gotta hit the inside of the golf ball. Ready for this? Hit the ball at like 8 o'clock, not 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Hit it like the inside of the ball. Turn the face over violently as you rotate through the golf ball. There we go.
That's fun.
There we go. And dude, my whole point is, the reason why I'm doing this, one could think, man, this is crazy. But the reason why I'm teaching you how to hit some massive benders, it's nice to know what you need to do more of sometimes. And then the best way that you understand it is, we're not even trying to really manipulate anything major. If I'm hooking it big time, yeah, you have to feel a little bit of extra hands and stuff like that. But it definitely doesn't go this way. It goes knuckles down this way, right? Which keeps the shaft and keeps the lag and keeps the angle of attack, but also turns the club face with the body. And you know, you watch my wrist, you'll see it right here. So I'm trying to, if this is 6 o'clock right here, I'm trying to hit this thing at 8 o'clock. And watch. I'm trying to watch my wrist through impact. Knuckles down. See that right there? And that's that one that goes around the trees like that. That just bends. And watch how much I can do this though. Ready for this? You know, isn't that crazy? So what's cool about that is when you're doing that, you go, okay, well, hold on, I'm showing up and I'm hitting shots that look like that, right? Now, that's not terrible, but it keeps falling right. San Diego. All right, here we. But now I get in here like this, Tyler, and I say, okay, well, I've been hitting a couple hooks now. Why don't I just go normal swing with a little bit of that feeling? And there is the best draw of the day right there, right? You got that, come on. Thank you guys so much for watching our video. Any questions or comments you have, please leave them below. Also, click the link below to pick up 3 free videos. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy our channel.